Is the MCU becoming too fantastical? A lot of fans seem to think so. One of the central appeals of older Marvel comics was that they took place in, more or less, the real world. Unlike DC's Superman, for instance, who lived in an abstract urban amalgam called Metropolis, Marvel's Spider-Man lived in New York City, using Manhattan skyscrapers as means of swinging around town. The character was clearly designed by people who lived in New York and could easily imagine themselves swinging above the frustrating traffic on the ground. Spider-Man dealt with fantastical supervillains, yes, but also had to worry about making money, holding down a job, keeping his wife happy, and making sure his costume was clean. When the Marvel Cinematic Universe began all those years ago, it too took place in the real world. Tony Stark became concerned that weapons manufactured by his company were falling into the hands of criminals and sought to undo the damage by becoming Iron Man.
He's all yours.
Captain America saw his origins in the very real battlefields of World War II. Thor was the outlier in that he came from a fantasy universe, although his debut film was set largely in a small American town here on Earth. After 15 years, 31 films, and 20 different TV shows, the real world has been left far, far behind. Too many world-altering events have taken place throughout the MCU timeline. Half the universe is absent for 5 years before being dramatically restored, Earth is now host to any number of alien refugees, and miracle metals are powering Earth's technology. Everyday life for normal human beings has been irretrievably altered. With that sentiment in mind, let's discuss the newest MCU installment, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and how it thrusts audiences deeper into this growing realm of excessive fantasy. The film takes place largely in a microscopic fantasy world called the Quantum Realm, and it may as well take place inside Star Wars or Middle-earth for all its sense of weight, reality, and relatability. Ant-Man, the Wasp, and their family are sucked into the Quantum Realm, where they meet bizarre paramecium-like fantasy creatures, speak with several weird humanoids, and have to face off against a teeny-tiny tyrant named Kang the Conqueror. Oh yes, and MODOK is there. While it might be fun to occasionally flee the real world and explore a bizarre dimension of fantasy creatures, it seems that's all the MCU knows how to do now. Ant-Man and the Wasp are in their element here, able to use their powers to fight evil interdimensional monsters. The days of the characters driving around in vans, chasing petty crime lords are clearly at an end. Exploring the streets of San Francisco is no longer of interest to this series. It's all green screen effects, CGI killers, and gooey spacecraft. Indeed, Ant-Man is scolded early in the film for his desire to stay home, to protect his teen daughter, and to not go gallivanting about. This film series berates the characters who long for normalcy. Of course, Quantumania was hardly the turning point. Indeed, the first Avengers team-up film in 2012 had already sort of broken the seal. That film featured an invading alien force attacking New York, and the Avengers doing the job that would have been ordinarily handled by helicopters and Harrier jets. At that point, the world now had memories of a major incident in New York, but life was still more or less sane.
These so-called heroes have to be held responsible for the destruction done to the city. This was their fight. Where are they now?
Eventually, however, too many extraordinary things began happening on Earth to ignore, and humanity seemingly needed to make peace with the fact that they live in a comic book world where space tyrants will occasionally kill them and unregulated superhumans will stand as a freelance military against them. With vibranium in the world and Iron Man's effort to disarm all nations, shouldn't the MCU look like a technological utopia? The MCU, of course, has chosen to ignore Earth. The widespread ramifications of constant superheroing are not addressed apart from a few tossed-off lines of dialogue about the blip, the world's nickname for the 5-year span when half the universe was dead. One might think more could be explored in terms of what long-term effects a blip might have had on the entire planet's ecosystem, but it's not something the Avengers are going to spend much time addressing. They're too busy in the multiverse, in the quantum realm, or in Wakanda to really pay attention to the world at large. Physics no longer has any meaning to the Avengers themselves, and they fight to save a world they never visit.